A jealous mom reported me to CPS over my daughter's hand washing, claiming it was obsessive and wasteful. Her vendetta started when my husband brushed off her inappropriate advances. And now she's built a website with secret photos of parents to shame us. She even cornered my autistic daughter at a farmer's market, whispering lies about me. I'm a water engineer, but nothing prepared me for this personal attack. Strategic patience triumphs. A mother's battle against obsessive harassment. The school year began with the usual flurry of excitement. New backpacks, nervous smiles, and the hum of parents reconnecting at back-to-school night. My daughter Penelope was thriving, her autistic mind finding joy in routine, especially her diligent hand-washing. But that night, a shadow crept into our lives. Linda, a mother with a sharp edge in her gaze, cornered my husband, her hand lingering on his chest as she asked if he ever felt lonely while I worked late. His gentle rejection, removing her hand and seeking me out, ignited something in her. From that moment, Linda's fixation began, a quiet storm brewing beneath her forced smiles. Her attacks started small, like pebbles tossed into a still pond. She complained about my early arrivals at school pickup, claiming my parking was aggressive. I brushed it off, documenting each incident in my phone with the precision of my engineering training. As a water treatment engineer, I'm used to systems, patterns, and data. Linda's behavior was just another problem to analyze. But when Penelope won the Health Hero Award for her diligent hand-washing, a simple act of hygiene praised by her teachers, Linda's resentment erupted. Her son, nominated for the same award, had lost after a teacher caught him skipping hand-washing entirely. Instead of addressing her child's behavior, Linda turned her anger on us. At pickup one day, she confronted me, her voice sharp with accusation. She claimed Penelope's 20-second hand-washing was excessive, a sign of OCD, and a waste of water in a supposed crisis. I stood my ground, calmly citing CDC guidelines. 20 seconds is the standard, using less than a gallon. My expertise in water systems made her claims laughable, but her eyes burned with something deeper than logic, a personal vendetta. The principal called me in, her face apologetic as she relayed Linda's concerns about water usage and mental health. I showed her the guidelines, my voice steady but firm. The principal sighed, admitting Linda was rallying other parents, pushing for a school board meeting. I could feel the ripple of her obsession spreading. The school board meeting was a spectacle. Linda arrived armed with printouts, her voice rising as she preached about water conservation and mental health risks. She glared at me, dismissing my credentials as a water engineer. When I explained that 20 seconds of hand washing used only half a gallon, she scoffed, insisting the waste was obvious. The district's facility supervisor tried to defend me, but I signaled him to step back. Then, in a moment of clarity, I saw Linda's pain. Her divorce, her unemployment, her son and the free lunch line. I softened, conceding she was right, letting her bask in her fleeting victory. I didn't want to deepen her wounds. As we left, parents on my side apologized to her, and for a moment it seemed resolved. But the next morning, my world tilted. CPS knocked on our door at 9 a.m., 2 caseworkers and a police officer standing grimly on our porch. Penelope, rubbing sleep from her eyes, asked why the police were there. The allegations were chilling. Starvation, locking her in the basement, inappropriate touching during forced washing rituals. My heart pounded as they inspected our home for 6 agonizing hours. Penelope missed school, I missed work. The caseworkers left confused, finding no evidence to support the wild claims. I knew Linda was behind it, but without proof, I stayed silent, my engineer's mind urging caution. The next day, Linda's arrogance betrayed her. At pickup, she bragged loudly to other mothers about putting me in my place, her voice dripping with malice. She mocked my husband, implying he was unfit because he chose me. I let her words slay. I'd knowing her recklessness would be her undoing. My strategy was simple. Document, observe, wait. But Linda's harassment intensified. She appeared at my workplace, a municipal water treatment facility, waving a petition and arguing with security. She followed me to my car, ranting about conservation and parenting. I drove away, her screams fading behind me. Linda's obsession became relentless. She trailed me to the grocery store, the gas station, my gym, always watching, texting furiously from a distance. Other parents noticed her car lingering outside school long after dismissal. 3 mothers warned me she was recruiting them for an intervention, even asking for their addresses to send OCD pamphlets. My husband suggested a restraining order, but I chose a different path. My engineering brain treated this like a project. Collect data, identify patterns, build a case. Public records revealed Linda's unraveling life. Her divorce had left her broke, denied spousal support after infidelity. She was 3 months behind on rent, her part-time job gone. Court documents showed a history of false accusations, teachers, coaches, anyone who challenged her ego. I compiled everything, not to attack, but to protect. Meanwhile, Linda organized a water awareness meeting, her PowerPoint filled with distorted statistics and emotional manipulation. I attended, staying calm. When she finished, I spoke, not about her, but about our water system. Facts, numbers, clarity. Parents listened, asked questions, and the room shifted from her narrative to a real discussion. She left fuming. Another CPS report followed, this time alleging educational neglect, claiming I forced Penelope to study water systems excessively. The caseworker, visibly embarrassed, found only standard second-grade work. Penelope missed her beloved art class, her disappointment hardening my resolve. Linda's attacks were now harming my daughter directly. I dug deeper, finding more victims of her harassment, 6 families over 3 years, all driven away by her tactics. With Catherine's, a mother who'd faced Linda's wrath before, I built a network of allies, sharing evidence and timelines. Linda's desperation peaked at the farmer's market. She approached Penelope while my husband was nearby, kneeling to tell her that mommy had problems and needed help. Penelope ran to her father, confused and upset. Vendors witnessed it. One filmed it. My heart broke for my daughter, but anger fueled my focus. We installed security cameras after spotting Linda's car circling our street. Her attacks grew erratic. A blog accusing me of corruption, flyers naming me as a resource waster, a Facebook group devolving into personal attacks. The school implemented new protocols, documenting complaints, extending security footage retention, restricting visitor access. Linda's son struggled, his grades slipping, caught in his mother's chaos. At the community center, Linda's water meeting flopped as parents ignored her. She escalated, filing complaints about school hand-washing policies, demanding faucet restrictors and bathroom monitors. Teachers reported her son bullying others, but Linda deflected, accusing them of targeting her family. I shared my timeline with the principal, who was alarmed by the scope of Linda's behavior. We agreed to monitor closely, documenting every move. Linda's biggest mistake came at a soccer game, where she disrupted families with flyers and a clipboard. Parents scattered, and the league president asked her to leave. Her loud arguments alienated even her few allies. The district issued a letter about appropriate parent behavior, clearly aimed at her. Linda retaliated with new flyers, claiming suppression, but the community was done. Parents formed a human barrier at school to shield children from her megaphone rants. Her son's transfer to his father's district offered him a fresh start, but Linda's grief and anger only grew. A former colleague of Linda, A's, reached out, sharing a decade of similar patterns: workplace conflicts, false complaints, terminations. The school trespassed Linda from campus, limiting her to pickup only. She responded with a website featuring secretly taken photos of parents, including me, accusing us of conspiracies. The site was shut down within 48 hours, but Linda pivoted to street protests, holding signs near our homes. At a school board meeting, she threw papers into the air shouting about justice. The news covered it, focusing on school safety, not her narrative. The end-of-year awards ceremony was tense. Linda arrived late, her agitation clear as she disrupted parents to take photos. When Penelope's Health Hero Award was announced, Linda's face twisted with rage. She later cornered the superintendent, who fled as security intervened. Her social media posts backfired as parents shared their own evidence: videos, voicemails, timelines. The community's collective documentation overwhelmed her lies. On the last day of school, Linda stood in a public park near the picnic, her banner ignored. Parents and children celebrated, untouched by her presence. Penelope won a race, her laughter a reminder of what we'd fought for. Linda's life was in ruins, evicted, custody reduced, reputation gone. She left town, her moving truck spotted at dawn. The relief was bittersweet, tinged with sadness for her son. Summer brought normalcy. Penelope thrived at camp, her joy untouched by the year's drama. New school policies protected against future harassment. Our parent group became a true community, forged in crisis, but rooted in friendship. Linda's story became a cautionary tale, whispered to new families. Penelope's resilience shone as she mentored younger students in hand-washing, her pride intact. The first day of 3rd grade was vibrant, free of tension. Parents welcomed newcomers, and the school felt lighter. Catherine and I reflected over coffee, grateful for the peace. The Health Hero Award continued, a simple celebration of hygiene, untainted by conflict. At the fall festival, families laughed and played, the shadow lifted. Penelope raced through the obstacle course, her spirit unbroken. The year had tested us: false accusations, CPS visits, relentless harassment. But we'd prevailed through strategic patience, meticulous documentation, and community strength. Linda's obsession had exposed her, not us. We'd protected our children, preserved our values, and emerged stronger. Penelope still washed her hands for 20 seconds, proud of her award, unaware of the battle fought in its name. That was the victory. Her innocence preserved, her confidence untouched, our family intact. The chess match was over, and we'd won by staying true to who we were,